Okay, let's talk about the advice we've all heard a million times. Just be authentic on social media. Sounds simple, right? Except, what does that actually mean? Are we supposed to share everything? Our messy morning routines, our business struggles, our personal lives? And how do we be authentic while also building a professional brand? Well, today I'm unpacking the authenticity paradox. Why just be yourself is both the best and the worst advice you've ever received. If you've ever felt confused about how much to share, how real to get, or whether your content is authentic enough, this episode is for you. Let's dive in. Love it, or hate to love it? Social media has been dominating the marketing world for years, and today is no different. Hey there, and welcome to the Ultimate Hangout, where I dish out all of my juicy secrets of the social media world, growing your online presence like a pro. I'm Brandy, your go-to girl in the digital universe, and I am beyond excited to have you join me for some serious fun as we explore the wonders of social media together. And for the past 5 years, I've been on a mission to uncover the tricks of the trade that not only work for me, but also help my clients shine in this digital world. So what's on the agenda? Well, pretty much everything. From sharing tips on crafting killer content to demystifying those tricky algorithms, whether you're a seasoned pro or just dipping your toes into the digital pool. This podcast is your safe space to ask questions, share ideas, and learn alongside a supportive community. Grab that cup of coffee, cozy up, and let's get ready. Let's Be Social isn't just a podcast. It's a celebration of creativity, connection, and the world of online communication. Here's to learning, laughing, and leveling up together. This is your Let's Be Social podcast. All right, so I need to get something off my chest. I am so tired of hearing just be authentic, as if some kind of magic solution to all of our social media problems. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely believe in authenticity. It's literally the foundation of everything that I teach. But here's the thing. Telling someone to just be authentic is kind of like telling someone who's struggling financially to just make more money. Like, okay, but thanks? How? Because here's what actually happens when we hear be authentic without any real guidance. We panic, we overthink, we wonder if we're sharing too much or not enough. We see someone else being vulnerable and getting tons of engagement, so we try to replicate it and it feels forced. Or worse, we share something really personal and it lands with crickets, and then we feel exposed and we regret it. This is what I call the authenticity paradox. Everyone's telling you to be yourself, to show up authentically, to let people see the real you. But at the same time, you're building a business, you're creating a brand, you're trying to look professional and trustworthy and like someone people want to work with. And those two things can feel like they're in direct conflict with each other. So today, I'm going to unpack what authenticity actually means on social media. Not the Instagram caption version of authenticity, the real practical, I need to post something today and I don't know if it's too much or not enough version. Let's start with what authenticity actually is. And I'm going to give you a definition that might surprise you. Authenticity is not sharing everything, it's sharing what's true. That's a massive difference between those two things. Because authentic doesn't mean you have to show your messy house, talk about your relationship problems, or share everything or every struggle that you're going through. It means that what you do share is genuine. It's real. It's coming from you, not from what you think you're supposed to say or what you saw someone else do that went viral. Think about it this way. I have friends in my life who I would consider very authentic people. They're genuine, they're real, they're themselves, but that doesn't mean that they tell me every single thing that happens in their lives. They have boundaries, they have privacy, they choose what to share and what to keep to themselves. And that doesn't make them any less authentic. The same thing applies to social media. You can be 100% authentic while still having boundaries about what you share and what you keep private. So then let's talk about where this gets tricky, because you're not just showing up on social media as a person, you're showing up as a business owner, and that's where a lot of the confusion comes in. There's this belief that in order to be authentic, you have to blur all the lines between your personal and professional life, that you have to share your morning routine, your family life, your struggles, your wins, all of it. And for some people, that works. That feels good to them. But for lots of us, it does not. And that's okay. Here's what I want you to understand: being professional and being authentic are not opposites. You can be both. In fact, the best personal brands are both. Being professional means you're intentional about what you share. You're thoughtful about your messaging. You show up consistently and deliver value. Being authentic means that what you share is genuinely you, your thoughts, your perspective, and your voice. So when you're trying to figure out what to post, the question isn't, is this authentic enough? The question is, this true to who I am, and does it serve my audience? Okay, let's address the huge elephant in the room: vulnerability, because I know what you're thinking. Brandy, all the experts say vulnerability is what creates connection. So doesn't that mean I have to share the hard stuff, the struggles, the behind the scenes messiness? And yes, vulnerability can absolutely create connection, but here's what nobody talks about. Not all vulnerability is strategic, and not all vulnerability serves your business. There's a difference between sharing a struggle that your audience can relate to and learn from versus trauma dumping on the internet. There's a difference between showing behind the scenes of your business process versus airing your personal laundry. Strategic vulnerability is when you share something that serves a purpose. Maybe it's to show your audience they're not alone. Maybe it's to teach a lesson about something you learned. Maybe it's to humanize your brand and show that you're a real person with real experiences. But vulnerability for the sake of vulnerability, that's not authentic. That's actually inauthentic, because you're sharing for the wrong reasons. You're sharing because you think you're supposed to, not because it's genuinely serving you or your audience. So, how do you actually find your authentic voice on social media? How do you figure out what to share and how to share it in a way that feels genuine? Here's what I've learned. Your authentic voice is already there. You don't have to create it or manufacture it. You just have to give yourself permission to use it. Think about how you talk to your best friend over coffee, or how you explain things to a client when you're really in the zone. That ease, that natural way you communicate, that is your authentic voice. The problem is we get on social media and we think we have to sound a certain way, more polished, more professional, more like the person we follow who always knows exactly what to say. But here's the thing: your audience doesn't need you to sound like anyone else. They need you to sound like you. Now, that doesn't mean that you don't edit yourself. That doesn't mean that you don't think about your messaging, but it means you're not putting on a persona. You're not trying to be someone that you're not. Your authentic voice is the version of you that shows up to serve your audience. It's you on a good day, not on your worst, and not you pretending to be perfect. It's you showing up as the expert that you are with the personality that you already have. All right, so let's talk about finding the sweet spot between professional and personal, between curated and authentic, between boundaries and vulnerability. Here's my framework. Ask yourself these questions before you post anything. Question 1: is this true to who I am? not who you think you should be, not who you see other people being, but genuinely you. Does this caption, this story, this post, does it reflect your actual thoughts, values, and perspective? Okay, question two. Question two, does this serve my audience? Is there value here? Will they learn something, feel something, or be inspired by something? Or are you sharing just to share? There's nothing wrong with personality posts, but they should still serve a purpose, even if that purpose is just to help people get to know you better. Question three, am I comfortable with this living on the internet forever? Because it will. Even if you delete it, someone might have screenshotted it. So before you share something vulnerable or personable, ask yourself, am I okay with this being out there permanently? If the answer is no, maybe sit with it a little longer before you post it. If you can answer yes to all of these questions, you're probably in the sweet spot of authentic content. Okay, so now before we wrap up, I want to talk about what authenticity is not, because I think there is a lot of misconceptions out there. Authenticity is not sharing everything with no filter, being negative or complaining constantly because it's real, copying someone else's vulnerable post style because it worked for them, feeling obligated to share things you're not comfortable sharing, performing emotions or struggles for engagement, using your platform as therapy. Real authenticity is intentional. It's boundaried, it's thoughtful, and it's different for every single person. What feels authentic to me might not feel authentic to you. And that's exactly the point. Your version of authenticity doesn't have to look like anyone else's. So here's what I want you to hear today. You have permission to be selective about what you share. You have permission to keep some things private. You have the permission to show the polished version of yourself sometimes. You have the permission to not share your struggles if that doesn't feel right to you. And you also have the permission to be messy sometimes, to show the behind the scenes, to be vulnerable when it serves you and it serves your audience. Authenticity isn't all or nothing thing. It's not a checklist you have to complete. It's a practice. It's showing up as yourself on your terms in a way that feels good to you and serves your business. Because at the end of the day, the most authentic thing that you can do is honor your own boundaries while still showing up to serve your audience. That's the balance. That's the sweet spot. And that's just the beginning of this conversation. Over the next few episodes in this series, I'm going to dive deeper into the vulnerability trap, how to create a brand voice that still feels like you, and how to create authentic content that actually converts. But for now, I want you to think about this. What does authenticity mean to you? Not what the Instagram version gurus are telling you. Now, not what you think you're supposed to do, but what feels right for you, your business, and your audience. If today's episode resonates with you and you're thinking, okay, I get it, but I still need help actually implementing this, I want to invite you to check out the Rise Up Lounge. Inside the Rise Up Lounge, I talk about this stuff all the time. How to show up authentically without oversharing. How to create content that feels like you. How to build a social media presence that doesn't require your sacrifice, your privacy, or a peace of mind. You'll get access to courses, templates, and resources that help you find your version of authenticity on social media. But more than that, you'll get a community of entrepreneurs who are figuring this out right now alongside you. We're all learning how to show up in a way that feels good and grows your business. If you want to learn more about the Rise Up Lounge, head to the link in the show notes. I'd love for you to join us. All right, that's what I've got for you today. Next week, I am diving into episode 2 of the Authenticity Paradox series, the vulnerability trap. How much is too much? We're going to talk about the line between relatable and uncomfortable and how to share your story in a way that serves you and your audience. Thank you so much for being here. If you love this episode, I would be so grateful if you'd leave a review or share it with another entrepreneur who needs to hear this message. Until next time, keep showing up, keep being authentic, whatever that means to you, and let's keep being social.